In ancient China, there were several well-known classic books by the names, such as Yi Jing, the Book of Changes, 道德经, and the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon, 黄帝内经. But why are they well known only by the names? Because even though many people have heard of them, very few have a clear understanding of what these books are really about. It seems that people today tend to have biased views about these classics. They might think the Book of Changes is about fortune-telling, the 道德经 is about morality, and the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon is just a medical book. However, each of these classics can be studied for a lifetime, and they offer different insights at different stages of life. Much like the saying, 1,000 Hamlets in 1,000 people's minds. These books are works that people can read and comprehend at different levels during various stages of our lives. In essence, throughout our lives, we face numerous paths and choices. The Book of Changes tells us about different paths. The 道德经 guides us towards the right path, and the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon instructs us on how to align with our own nature, adjust our body and mind, and live a healthier and more fulfilling life.
Welcome to Eat, Play, Heal with Yogi.
While the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon is fundamentally a book about maintaining physical and mental well-being, it has been simplified and understood as a medical text in modern times. However, it can also exist as a part of our everyday lives. Applying its principles to health maintenance, disease prevention, and treatment makes it a guiding text in the field of traditional Chinese medicine. If we can grasp the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon to a certain extent, we can begin to take care of ourselves daily, prevent illnesses, and even treat existing ones. This is much better than waiting until a condition becomes serious and rushing to seek medical treatment while we're panicking, isn't it? But, although the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon is quite remarkable, but if we cannot remember or apply its teachings, it becomes useless. And the original text is written in concise and profound ancient Chinese, make it quite challenging for us to understand it today without proper guidance. I found myself in this situation where I was seeking medical treatment without a clear understanding of the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon. I was collecting bits of knowledge here and there, ultimately learning nothing useful. Without a deep understanding, I couldn't connect information from my own knowledge or apply it when needed. This meant I couldn't retain what I had learned. So I decided to learn it from start to finish, following the thoughts of Dr. Ni Haixia, brilliant traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. Since he specialized in T.C.M, his version of interpretation suits my needs as a beginner learner of the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon. I aim to integrate the concepts of traditional Chinese medicine into my daily life to live healthier and happier each day. And as I'm learning, I'll start by sharing what I find interesting and comprehensible at my current level in this video series. At first glance, the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon is a dialogue between the Yellow Emperor and his teacher Qi. The Yellow Emperor expressed concerns about the well-being and illnesses of his people, and raised systematic questions about the treatment of diseases and health maintenance. Qi provided answers. The first is one of the most profound questions that people even today have always been interested in, is how long we can live. Over thousands of years ago, it's believed that everyone could live for over 100 years. And even at that age, people remained agile and showed no signs of aging. However, when Yellow Emperor asked the question around 2,500 years ago, people reached the age of 50 already appear aged with reduced mobility. And Qi explained that ancient people understood how to harmonize with nature, lead healthy lifestyles, and find contentment, which allowed them to maintain their vitality. Today, in 2023, with our sedentary lifestyles, poor diets, and stress, we age even prematurely, despite advancements in technology that extend life. While average lifespans may have increased, most people are aging rapidly. losing their quality of life and happiness. When Hong Kong surpassed Japan in global life expectancy a few years ago, elderly people in Hong Kong were interviewed about their long lives. Surprisingly, they expressed that it was boring and exhausting to live for so long, and they'd rather not live any longer. It is understandable because if you find yourself dealing with illness and discomfort already from your 40s or 50s, with no significant life goals or direction, you might wonder if this kind of longevity is something people truly desire. But if you want to live a long, healthy life like ancient people who reached over 100 years with vitality, we must balance the 5 elements corresponding to the 5 emotions. Just like the concept of yin and yang, we should neither exceed nor lack the balance, finding harmony in the interactions. This dynamic balance helps maintain the functioning of our internal organs, ensuring both physical and mental health. The 5 elements, along with their correspondence to the 5 organs, 5 senses, 5 emotions, 5 tastes, 5 colors, 5 seasons, and 5 sounds, etc., are pervasive in T.C.M concepts and applications. They continuously interact as our physical and mental states changes. To preserve their health, we must monitor their equilibrium and make timely adjustments. Understanding the relationships between these elements is crucial. Let's start with the 5 emotions. The 5 emotions are anger, joy, thought, grief, and fear, corresponding to the 5 organs: liver, heart, spleen, lungs, and kidneys. To a certain extent, all these emotions can be beneficial. Even anger or sadness can be a way to release emotions when expressed moderately. But if any of these emotions become excessive and beyond what a person can handle, they can lead to functional disturbances and diseases in the associated organs, leading to the sayings such as anger harms the liver, joy harms the heart, thought harms the spleen, grief harms the lungs, and fear harms the kidneys. The rules of the 5 elements state: wood generates fire, fire generates earth, earth generates metal, metal generates water, and water generates wood. And the rules of mutual restraint are: wood restrains earth, earth restrains water, water restrains fire, fire restrains metal, and metal restrains wood. So, when applied to the 5 organs and 5 emotions, the restraint relationships are as follows. Liver restrains spleen, spleen restrains kidneys, kidneys restrains heart, heart restrains lungs, and lungs restrain liver. In other words, anger restrains thought, thought restrains fear, fear restrains joy, joy restrains grief, and grief restrains anger. For example, anger is associated with the liver. When we get angry, our liver is affected. After getting angry, people often turn to alcohols to release pent-up frustration. However, overdrinking also harms the liver, creating a vicious cycle. On the other hand, when people get angry enough, they might end up crying. Once we cry, the sadness releases the pent-up anger, gradually restoring balance in our body and stabilizing our emotions. This is something that children often do instinctively. But as adults, we are increasingly constrained by rationality. Despite adults are having more reasons to be angry, we find it more challenging to cry. Over time, this can lead to health issues. Some parents might instruct their children, "Crying is a sign of weakness. Don't cry. Be quiet." From then on, these children learn to suppress their emotions. And as they grow into adults, they become a category of people who excessively control their emotions. This, in fact, contradicts the body's natural physiological mechanism that sadness triumphs over anger and can be harmful to one's health. I recently watched a video about what Finnish first graders learn in school, and it's not about numbers or alphabets. Instead, they focus on learning how to manage various emotions. They spent 2 weeks on anger alone, discussing where anger comes from, what it feels like, and how to resolve it. They learned that people are allowed to feel anger, but it has boundaries, that angry people should not harm others, themselves, animals, or should not break things. And it's proven that children educated this way tend to grow up as cheerful and happy individuals. And in ancient China, this understanding of emotions' mutual influence has led to the development of the T.C.M's emotions governing emotions therapy for treating psychological disorders. And by rebalancing emotions, we can improve our physical illnesses as well. One famous case from the history of T.C.M. tells of a patient treated by Hua Tuo, who is a prominent physician in ancient China. Using the anger overcomes thoughts method, a magistrate approached Dr. Hua Tuo for treatment, and Dr. Hua Tuo diagnosed that the patient's excessive overthinking has harmed his spleen and stomach. Over time, this caused a stagnation and blood stasis in his stomach. Dr. Hua Tuo accepted many valuable gifts from this magistrate without giving him any medical treatment, but then rudely criticized him instead, leaving the magistrate furious. This intense anger led the magistrate to cough up blood. And surprisingly, this episode cleared the stagnation and blood stasis in his stomach. As a result, his stomach and spleen function improved, and he stopped overthinking excessively. T.C.M. believes most of our physical ailments are related to emotional problems. If we don't manage our emotions well and in time, we can fall into a vicious cycle. The key to longevity is simple. Happy people live longer. Many interesting stories about emotions and their impact on health can be found in the Yellow Emperor's Inner Canon. I'll share more as I continue my study of this book in the upcoming episodes. Join me as we learn how to apply the principles of T.C.M. to our everyday lives and live a happier, healthier life. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.